Hello guys, and welcome to another replay analysis with me, ViBE, and Dingles, who is going to fight the alphabet of mech, essentially. I believe this is going to be a Zerg versus mech game. We'll see in a minute here, though. But, if you guys don't know how replay analysis work, we're going to watch a Bronze League player play a game, and we're going to help him out in as many ways as we can. And we're going to help, basically just tell him how to play. If I see him playing poorly, we're going to tell him what he's doing is bad. And if I see him playing well, we're going to compliment him. So there's probably going to be no compliments. Let's get into it, shall we? Okay. All right. Let's speed it up a little bit because not much is going on right now. Also, I don't remember what league you are. Dingles, what league are you actually? He's not actually bronze. I'm just kidding. I think he's like diamond. I think it was diamond. Alright, it's platinum. Okay, it's platinum. So, we got a hatchery first. I like it. Pool. It's fine. I like it. Looks like you're almost going B2GM style to a degree. Not quite entirely. But I still like your build. It's fine. It's very mineral focused. Oh, excuse me. It's very mineral focused. I like that a lot. Oh, God, dude. Okay. Big tip, all right? Whenever you get a rotation of your saturation, want to know a fun tip?
Hey man, I just started playing SC2 and watching your vids. I'm amazed at your humility and understanding of what players at low levels need. Esports needs more role models like you less than 3.
Yo, Spiky Badger, thank you very much for the bits. And I try to make it understandable for people of all leagues. Like, I try to, like, kind of, like, bypass a lot of the simple shit for higher level players to, like, really get to technicalities. And then for low level players, you know, people really, I could be like, so what you want to do is rapid fire that and then just do a camera hotkey swap to your natural. And they'll be like, what the fuck is a rapid fire and what is a camera hotkey? You know, people in lower leagues need to, like, know this kind of shit for sure. So you have to, like, definitely break it down simple for lower leagues. But yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you. And thank you, Terryland, for gifting him a sub. Now, if you ever right-click drones like this, like grab some and right-click another resource, like you have drones in your, or minerals in your hand and you have gas you're going to mine now, a simple stroke of one key is all you need. Green box 3, right-click the gas, and if you, while you have them selected still, because you just right-click the gas, which does not deselect your drones, if you just hit the letter C for the word Carl, or can't, it will return your resources to the hatchery. So you don't waste 5 drones, or 5 minerals. It would just be like right-click C, and then this one drone would return and then go to the gas, and you would lose no gas doing this, but you would gain 5 more minerals. It's simple, but a lot of people waste resources like this a lot. So, yeah, I would say definitely do that. It's just a simple thing to do. Because now if you go in the gas with it, now it's going to come out with gas in its hand, and the minerals are now gone forever. Anyways, not that big of a deal, but it's nice. Because the way it works, for people who don't know this, if you tell a worker, okay, if I go, hey, drone with minerals in your hands, go mine that gas. I right-click the gas, and then I say C to go return cargo. If it has a job you just gave it, which is go mine the gas, it will tell the drone to return the cargo, and then it will go mine the gas. Just like if I tell a drone to go mine a mineral patch here, and it has gas in its hand, or minerals in its hand, if I click this patch and I hit return cargo, it will go return the cargo to the closest hatchery, and then it will go mine the patch I just told it to mine. So it works this way for all, like transferring drones around, transferring workers around different types of resources. You don't have to shift click it. It'll basically go back to the most recent command you gave it after you've told it to go return cargo. So if I say, hey, return cargo, but first mine that patch, you don't have to shift command that. I just told it to mine the patch and then told it to return cargo, and it'll always go to that patch after it returns the cargo. That's just how it works. That's how that feature or command works. So return cargo is amazing if you do it after you have assigned a new role to your worker. Okay. And then again, the hotkey does not exist on a worker if it has nothing in its hands. But if it does have something in its hands, a new thing will pop up right here. Oh, okay, my fucking camera's in the way. I'll just show you so no one's confused. So right here, okay, there's nothing here, right? It's gather instead because it has nothing in its hand. So gather exists. Return cargo is going to pop up now though, as soon as it has minerals in its hand or gas. And now see how gather is still there, but now there's a return cargo button, which is C for its default hotkey is C. So it's not active on every drone. It's only active on drones that have shit in their hands. But once it has something in its hands, you can use return cargo if you're going to rotate it around somewhere else for the whole concept we just explained a second ago. And then as soon as it turns it in, return cargo goes away, and then it resets itself over and over and over. Okay, anyways, that's that. Okay, now let's see your build. Okay, you've mined way too much gas in my opinion already. This is the biggest problem of most players, I would say. You're not going for a layer, you're not going for a zergling speed, but you're still mining gas like crazy. We'll see what you do with it, but I already don't like it. We'll come back to this later, but I already don't like it. Too much gas. It's fucking up everything about your minerals. And your minerals are everything right now. Your minerals are your hatcheries. Your minerals are your larva. Your minerals are your supply. Your minerals are your income. It's the access to more hatcheries, more drones, more overlords, more queens. It's also your creep. Like, minerals are everything for you right now. The only thing gas is tech. And if you're not going to utilize tech anyways, there's no point for this to be this heavy on gas. Yeah, you're mining way too much gas. Okay, you're going for a wall off. That's not quite a wall off either, though. There's a gap there, and there's a gap there. You're still mining gas and you started a layer. This looks like a weird version of B2GM. Which we can talk about. Do you prefer B2GM, Dingles? It's an attempt at B2GM? Okay, so you're trying to do B2GM. Okay, let me break it down for you then really fast. Go back, and I'll tell you where you went wrong, okay? I'll tell you where you went wrong. So it's right here, right at like 120. Your hatchery timing is fine. Your pool timing is a tiny bit late. You should go for like an 18 pool. If you're going to go for B2GM style, just do like 18 pool, I would say. Like 17 hatch against Terran. 17 hatch, 18 pool, 20 gas. Those are well-timed timers there for those buildings. You could go 16 hatch, 18 pool, 20 gas, or basically 17, 18, 20, or 16, 18, 20. The hatchery could be either 16 or 17. It does not matter. It's better to be 16 against Zerg and Protoss. It's better to be 17 against Terran. But if you go 16 against everybody, I would still accept that as fine. That's still okay. But yeah, 18 pool, 20 gas. Always. No matter what, if you're doing B2GM style. So you went for a 19 pool, and then you went for a 19 gas. So you have a late pool and an early gas. And what does this do? This puts you at a point. The reason why 18 pool, 20 gas is important, let me explain why. If you build a queen when the pool's done right away, and if you mine gas out of that gas when it's done right away, the way it should line up if you go 18 pool, 20 gas, is you will have 100 gas in the bank right as your queen spawns. So it allows you to now have a freed up hatchery because you can't make a layer while you make a queen. So the second the queen's done, you can now start a layer. That's how that lines up like that. That's why it's so good. So it gives you the most minerals you can possibly get with the least investment into gas when you need it. Like it's not like you have 180 gas when you only needed 100. You had 100 when you needed 100. So it lines up perfectly if you're going to rush a layer. However, this game for you don't start a layer until like you're almost like 300 gas, which is super late. And then you're mining it also earlier than normal. So you're going to sacrifice minerals for this a little bit. Because watch your mineral line. So you're good on this right now. But now, again, this mineral line does not only count for your main mineral line, right? It counts for your natural too. And you're starting a queen a little bit late, like 3 seconds late on that. Not the worst. But, so like, look at larva too. We'll look at your larva. Larva is also huge here. So yeah, like, I mean, ultimately, there's double dip ways I would describe it for your, if you take a gas. The first way of double dipping your economy out of efficiency, if you take a gas really early, is you're mining gas really early and you're not mining minerals as much as you could be. That's the first way it counts. The second way it counts is if you mine gas way too early, you're going to feel like you're like, well, I have a lot of gas. I need to spin that gas, right? And if you spin that gas when it's appropriate times to spin that gas, it costs minerals as well. There is nothing in this game that only costs gas. That does not exist. Everything in this game either costs a little bit or a lot of minerals to then spin the gas. And if you're talking about tech and tech structures, that is a lot of minerals as well. It's either even or more on the mineral side. So it double dips your economy hardcore because you're not only mining the gas, which is reducing your mineral income because you have less drones mining minerals, but you're then having to spin the gas you're also mining, which is going to dip into your minerals even more. So it really fucks your economy up really badly if you take gas way too early. Zavero, thank you very much for the 8-month sub, dude. Welcome back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, 20 gas, perfect. And then you could make, right now, when the queen's out, you would have 100 gas instead of 160. And then again, if you're going to do B2GM style, you should be starting a layer when your queen spawns. Because the idea of it is you want to get quick roach speed. That's the general idea you want. So you don't want to be waiting on that for too long either. Like, you don't want to just sit here just stockpiling gas for no reason. You should treat minerals like cocaine and as Zerg and get a lot of it. Yeah, exactly. Coke the shit out of your drones. Also, another tip is, as soon as you have optimal saturation on a mineral line, re-rally the mineral line of the hatchery to this base. So you could be like, okay, main's rallied to the main, but the second I have 16 out of 16 and 3 out of 3, let's click the hatchery and right-click the mineral patch at my natural. So every drone that gets built from then on goes to the natural. Like, never oversaturate like this. And you're fixing it, but you're going to keep fucking it up if you don't fix the mineral line thingy. So what you're doing every single time is you're rallying the eggs. Get out of the habit of rallying your eggs and get in the habit of rallying your hatcheries. You're making what could be done in one step have to be done in like 15 steps. And the reason why I say that, or 16 steps. Okay, more like 12. More like 12 steps. And the reason why I say that is because there's no need to rally your drones to your natural from your natural. It's already going to happen. But you have to rally every single drone from your main now that goes to your natural, which is half the mineral line because it's half of your larva production. So it's 24 drones to properly saturate a base because you need 24 drones to saturate a 16 mineral line to build 2 gases and then saturate said gases. It's 24 in total. So it's 12 times of going drones rally, drones rally, drones rally, drones rally, drones rally. It's just an extra unnecessary task that you don't need to do. It's a waste of your time. And it's going to start fucking you up really bad, especially when you start getting to later on in the game when if you have like 4 bases or 5 bases, and let's say you take damage in like 2 bases at the same time. Let's say you're on 5 bases or something like that, and your main and natural get hit together, and you're like, I don't know. It doesn't really matter that much then, to be fair. It really doesn't. I'm about to tell you something that is irrelevant, so I'm just going to stop right there. Because you do actually rally your drones then at that point. But for now, it's just like added tasks that you don't need to do. It's a waste of your time. It's unnecessary. So I would say get out of the habit of doing that for now. Because here's the thing too, is this is another problem with it. If you actually get distracted by something and you never fix this, okay? If you never fix the drone rally point of your main going to your main and your natural having no rally point, okay? Both of them are fucked up right now. They should both be rallied to the natural. If you ever deal with like a Reaper or an Adept or early Lings or anything like that, where you get distracted now and you don't have the foresight to be like, I'm going to rally every drone every time I make it. And now suddenly you're like, oh, fuck a Reaper, but I still made a drone though. Well, that means that you're going to get inefficient mining in your main, or you're going to get no mining at all in your natural, and the drone's just going to sit there in front of your natural. So that is something so small, but I could see so many problems that it makes for you because it's a really bad habit. Super bad habit to do. You should always rally the hatchery to the new mineral line that you're going to saturate, always. So that when you're dealing with other shit, like multi-prong, like you don't have these problems where it's just like things become inefficient. Like for instance, look at this drone. Watch this drone right here. You're not even getting attacked. You're not even getting attacked, and watch this drone. 331 it spawns. How long does it take you to fix it? 331. We'll just watch this for an example of what we just talked about. Speed it up a little bit. We're going on almost a minute right now. It's over a minute. It's still there. But like, we don't have to keep going. Who knows how long this is going to be there for. But that's my point. This is embarrassing. I'm sorry, dude. I don't want it to be embarrassing. It's just, it proves the point I was literally just making, which is if you ever miss a drone for whatever reason, this creates problems for you now. Like, it's easily fixable. Like, instead of having to, because what you're doing is you're creating a little problem right now that is always going to be there, and you have to fix it every time you make a worker. Every time you make a worker. Every time you make a worker, you got to fix it. You got to fix it. You got to fix it. Because you rally the eggs every time. But if you just rally the hatcheries, that problem is impossible to happen. It doesn't happen. Because the hatcheries are rallied, so you don't have to rally the eggs. It'll rally itself for you to the mineral line every time. So it's like there's a potential problem that keeps happening over and over and over unless you fix it every time, and you missed it one time, and now you have that drone that's just chilling here the whole fucking time under these eggs for over a minute and a half now, or about a minute and a half now, up to this point. It can still go longer. That's so much mining time if you think about it. When that was like your 30th drone or something, that was like drone number 30, which is 3% of your economy in rough, or it's like, or rather, sorry, it's like, what is that? What is 1 out of fucking 30? It's like 3%, roughly, ish. Like 3.33, yeah, ish. It's not 10%. It's definitely not 10%. One drone is not 10% of 30. It's like 3%. Yeah, it's like 3.33. Repeating, of course. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I knew it was like 3%, but I was like, you get my point. It like that is actually a large, like the more drones you have, the less each drone represents for a percentage of your total economy. But just to say, I'm like 3.33% behind, just because now, is really bad, and that's because it's just sitting there. If mistakes like that happen, imagine if that was like what your first out of like your 20 drones, and now that was 5% of your economy, because it was one of your first 20. It was drone number 20. Like, that would suck even more. Imagine if it was one of your, imagine if it was drone number fucking 16. You get what I mean? Like, every time this happens to you, if it ever does happen to you, when your drone count is lower, it fucks you more and more and more harder as the game goes on, because not only is it more time that goes by where the drone's not mining, but the less drones you have, it's a bigger percentage of the total income you're supposed to be getting right now. So I can't stress how much of a, and again, the reason why I'm stressing on this so hard is because what I'm seeing right here is a very bad habit. This is a super bad habit. And B2GM, all that shit we talked about, is about developing good habits. This is a terrible habit to develop. Don't, like, if you're still like Masters League and doing this shit, you're gonna hate your life. Like, this is because not only is it bad for the potential loss of economy, but you have to fix every fucking drone you make. And when you're dealing with Hellion Harass, Reaper Harass, Adept Harass, all these different types, Oracle, a Banshee, anything that can harass you, if you always have to rally every egg you make in a drone, that is so fucking annoying. Because if you're doing what I said, which is 5SD, 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 you're going to have to rally a drone every like 5 seconds to a mineral line. Like, this incentivizes players who wait until they make like 5 drones at once and don't really spin their larva, and then they rally all 5 eggs at the same time. But you would find it so fucking annoying if you were like, the second you hit a larva, every time, drone, 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 and you had to rally every time to the mineral line. It would suck ass. You'd be like, this is awful. I hate doing this. So I can already tell this is a bad habit for you because it slows down your macro. You're not doing 5SD as much as you should. You're making drones at a slower pace than need to be made. And you're missing drones here and there. Every once in a while that can happen. Are we at a 5-minute plus drone of rally lecture? Of drone rally lecture? Fuck yeah, you are. That's important as shit. That is something that is so small that every low league player would just disregard and be like, whatever. Doesn't matter. Fucking matters a lot. It's a huge deal. Alright, guys. Let's go. Okay, so now... You're already just like pretty behind, I would say. Not because of the drone, but because of your build as a whole. You're getting way too fast of a hydrogen. Your third base is delayed. Your roach count is fine. Your drone count is under what it should be. I feel like you could have definitely, and also you're behind on injects now already by 7 injects. Or, sorry. 3 injects, which is 9 larvae. I don't know why I said 7. You're behind by 9 larvae already through injecting. Because you missed 1 inject here and you missed 2 injects here already on your natural queen. So that's 9 larvae in total that you're behind. That's a huge deal, right? If you were to be transferring 7 drones to your third base right now, and you're already behind by 9 larvae, you could actually be fully saturated on this mineral line right now with 16 drones. So that is huge. You could be fully saturated on pretty much everything. This is the number I like to quote people because it's very true. You could be fully saturated on all 3 of your bases, gases included, by 6 minutes. So that means 66 drones at 6 minutes. And the pace you're going to right now to 6 minutes is going to be like 50 drones. Okay, you made another round, which is nice. And 6 minutes is now here. And here's the thing. You're at 6 minutes, and we're going to say you're at 53 drones instead of 55. And I'm not being unfair, okay? The reason why I'm saying that is because you haven't even started the gases yet, which it needs to be happening for your economy to be fully in production. Otherwise, you can't mine the gas. So you're really at 53 drones at 6 minutes when you could be at 66. So you're already 13 workers behind up to this point. So, oh yeah, sorry. There's also a gas in your main too. My bad. So you're actually at 52. You're at 52 instead of 66. So you're 13 workers behind, or 14. Jesus, you're 14 workers behind. So that's it's a big deal, and this is happening to you because of things like here's some simple things. If your build is a little out of order in any way, like your gas is way too early and you stockpile a bunch of gas early, that fucking has massive repercussions to your build. It screws you over really bad. It does. It slows you down when you're mining something you don't need yet, like that heavily. Another one is if you miss injects. You don't get that larva. That larva doesn't just suddenly come back. You can't make up the difference. It's gone forever. You have to make extra costs now to get it back. Like you have to make macro hatches and shit, which is a bonus added cost to your build. Like there's no, if you ever miss time anything, this is why there's a big difference between like GM players and like every league that goes lower. The difference gets bigger. If you ever waste time in a game where it's like, oh, I missed the inject by 6 seconds there, that doesn't just come back. You don't get it back. You're now literally always behind in that regard from that point of that particular part of your build. It's always behind. So StarCraft 2 is literally a game about making as little mistakes as possible and keeping on top of everything as long as you can. And the higher league or higher level you go, you'll see players that can stay on top of it longer and make less mistakes throughout the game. That's just how it goes. Like the higher league you get, you'll see less mistakes. It's a game of making less mistakes essentially. And then, yeah, you can make recovery aspects to your build again like a macro hatch, but it's not the same as just not messing it up in the first place. It never is. You'll always be behind to a degree. If you make something you don't necessarily need, because the whole reason why it messed up is because you're of like neglect or something. But again, if you're neglecting your build and you do need a macro hatch, then obviously I would recommend building it, because it's better than just neglecting repeatedly and then falling even further behind. But you're behind by 14 drones because of the lack of larva usage of like making it, the excessive gas, the way early wall in here, and also like things like the early hydrogen, like all this stuff. You made your tech units and your wall way too quick, way too fast. and you made your gas way too fast, and you made your hatchery and your mineral costing things way too slow, and you have only 3 queens right now when you should have 4. And for instance, your third base should have gone down faster. Your creep spreading queen should have went to your third base as it was finishing, and the second your third base is done, immediately injected. Stuff like that should be happening. That's like you want to maximize larva as much as possible. When should I be throwing down my wall? As soon as your very first inject has popped off your hatcheries and you have then spent the larva, you should then make your wall. So we'll go back to that for a second. Watch this. So the fact that you have 700 minerals right now is blowing my mind. I do not know how you have this much minerals right now. You shouldn't. It's because you're delaying, like, queens are delayed. Your larva is being used is delayed. You're about to supply block, and I don't even know if you have an overlord in production. You don't. You don't have another queen in production. This is already 16 seconds into your inject, and you don't have another queen started yet, when you should. You should have a third queen immediately started. You don't have your layer started. Like, there's a lot of expenses that should be taking precedent over your wall. Your wall should not be started until the first inject pops off, and then all that larva is then spent, and then you make enough money to then build the wall. If you ever find yourself having mineral pockets like this, where it's just like crazy amounts of money that is just like, well, I got like 800 minerals, might as well make the wall. My question then would be, why the fuck do you have 800 minerals? Like, that should not be happening. And here's a tip too. You can actually you have 2 gaps in your wall too. You have a gap right there, and you have a gap right here. You can actually make this wall without a creep tumor with no gap. No, not more than 1 gap, essentially, sorry. And here's how you do it. Building there. Building there. Building there. Creates a gap right there. Because notice how this is actually connected. You could have built a building right there. It's actually triple creep pixel that you could build a building there. It walls that off. And then you could connect building to building to building all the way to this wall, which would create a 1 gap there. But because you've built your Evo chamber so fucking far to the right, that's very far off, which creates a 2nd gap right there. The Evo chamber should be built right there if you had creep there to do it properly. So your Evo is way off on this side. And then it creates this sideways gap. And then you're always going to have the north to south gap, no matter what, which is kind of being created right there. So wall from here down, and then you would only have a 1 by 1 gap right there that a queen could sit in right there. But yeah, you're not doing the build very much. Like, you're delaying shit. Like, I'm gonna speed this one up a little bit more. I'm gonna speed through this out because I'm focusing a lot on like the first 6 minutes, because your whole build is fucked by 6 minutes. It's just fucked. What is that copy pasta going on? Okay. It stopped, so I'm not going to worry about it. So, at this point, you're like I said, your pool is late. What does a late pool do? Gives you later queens, right? So your queens are delayed now because your pool's delayed. That's larva. Now watch when the pool's done, though. So your pool's already late by like 3 or 4 seconds by itself, because you did 19 instead of 18. It's a few seconds. And now watch when your pool's done at 2:03, right? 2:03. We'll say 4 seconds behind already because your pool was late. And now on top of 2:03, let's add on to 4 seconds. From 2:03 to 2:09, that's 6 seconds between your pool finishing and your queen starting. So that's 6 seconds longer now on between the pool being done to the queen being started to then also the pool being delayed in the first place because you went for a 19 pool. That's now like 10 seconds behind. 10 seconds is fucking huge. That's a lot of time to delay your larva of injecting when you don't need to, because you're not getting any benefits out of delaying your pool like this. You're not going for like triple hatchery early or something like that. You're doing a standard 2-base gas build. So the fact that the pool's so late makes no sense. So again, the builds you should go for would be like 17, 18, 20. 17 because you're doing a B2GM style, which is you're still not going for circling speed, but you do still want to get an early pool relatively. So you're getting a 17 hatch, 18 pool, 20 gas. That's the idea. That's the ideal situation. But again, we're talking 10 seconds delayed already on the larva. Okay, now watch this. How long do you spend before you inject your hatchery and the queens out? I started at 2:45. 1 second, basically. I'll give you the 1 second. That was good. That was respectable. You're injecting it with 1 energy on you. That's GM level. That was good. So there's no delay there. So we'll still keep you at 10 seconds for now. But then you're not doing a layer, you're not doing any of the other stuff. Now let's watch your money and watch your larva. Okay, so you did it immediately with your natural, or sorry, with your main. Immediately. That was good. That was a good inject. But are you going to spend the larva, though? You have 7 larvae right now. Are you going to spend it? Or are you going to worry about the wall too much? You have 6 larvae. You have 3 larvae. You still have a bunch of larvae that's not being used because you didn't make an overload and your supply blocked. And what's your queen of your natural doing? Your queen of your natural ran down to go like poke the wall a little bit and see what's going on. It's not injecting. It should totally be injecting. You should have a 3rd queen fucking around like this, which should have been started after your natural queen. A 3rd queen should be doing this, not your injecting queen. That's a huge deal. You totally missed 2 injects now with this queen. Now this queen, let's see how good you are with this one. How are you going to keep up on it this time? No. Okay, you did it like a few seconds late again. So in just the main alone, we're going to say you're like 14 to 15 seconds behind because of the fact that you were already 10 seconds behind and you just missed like 4 or 5 seconds on that last inject of larva. Your natural, however, just double injected just now, but that's not like it's okay. You're behind in your natural by a minute. A fucking minute. Because this takes it's really 58 seconds. It takes 29 seconds for that shit to go off. Each time. And you've missed 2 full rounds of it. So you are 58 seconds behind in your natural, and you are about 15 seconds behind in your main. That's a huge deal. That is definitely why you're behind and you're not able to spend your money properly. Imagine how much faster your base would have been saturated if you had been injecting properly. And then imagine if you've saturated faster, you could have afforded a 3rd faster. So your 3rd base, instead of being 2 seconds in right now, might be at like 12 or 15. Which is, again, larva, right? That's faster. You can inject it in the future with a 3rd queen. And it's also larva that generates out of the hatchery. Like your larva, I would say your larva production right now is already behind by like 15 where it could be in the first 4.5 minutes. You're a bunch of larvae behind. Because if you ever do things like this too, where you have a hatchery that has 3 larvae sitting on it, every second that this goes by, this is why always staying on top of your injects is important. Because not only is it important to inject your hatchery, it's important to realize that the inject is now ready to go again. Because if you don't realize that and you let 3 larvae sit there, which is why 5SD is so important, you're no longer generating larva. And for people who don't know this, larva injecting is literally 50% of your larva. Perfect larva injects is 50% of what larva is. Automated larva spawning out of a hatchery is the other 50%. You will generate 3 larvae during the exact same amount of time. The 3rd larva will pop out of the hatchery at the exact moment the inject pops off the hatchery. And it will always happen that way if you have perfect injects. And you also have perfect larva spending, so you don't cap out either way. Because larva does not generate. Once you have 3, it stops generating. And if you don't inject your hatchery, it stops injecting, obviously. So it's things you have to maintain the whole time. There's 2 ways of mechanical larva that you have to keep on top of. And they're both 50% of total larva usage, or like capacity, whatever. Availability. They're both extremely important. So you have to realize you need to spin larva, just like you have to realize you need to inject the larva. They're both just as important as the other one. Anyone knows how much larva a hatchery can hold max? It's like 18, roughly. I think it's 18 or 19. So that you're falling behind in larva like crazy in the first bit of the game. And now, for like at the 6-minute mark, like we were talking about, You're so far behind. And the thing is, too, is you should have been making the third queen right away. Because, again, we're going to talk about another mechanic now of Zerg. Check this out. Watch this. Check this out. This is a very way to do the math. 30-second rule here, okay? We'll just make it easy for 30 seconds because we can pair it with injects. So your queens already are 10 seconds behind from the early part of the game we talked about. So you're already 10 seconds behind as it is, but now the fact that you don't make a third queen, which takes 36 seconds, which if you did make it right now, you could have one, you know, 36 seconds from now. But we'll just give you the benefit of the doubt here, and we'll say we'll make the timer at like 220 or sorry, at 320, okay, roughly. Gives you a little bit of wiggle room for a little bit of missed seconds here, but 320 will be your start time. For if you made a third queen, you could have had a queen at like roughly around 320. Okay? So like right now, for instance. It's not exact, but again, you had a little bit of missed queen time in the beginning where you could have definitely made it earlier. And then it's assuming if you made one right after you made this one. 320, that's where we're getting the number from. Every 30 seconds from starting right now. This counts as the first variable, or the first number of this. But every 30 seconds from now it represents a creep tumor. So if we talk about how many creep tumors you could have between now and 6 minutes, because you would have made a queen, and it doesn't cost you extra money. It's just a queen that would have, like, the queen costs money obviously, but you could easily have afforded it. But from then on, it doesn't cost you more money. It's just continuously throwing creep down until your third is done. From now until 6 minutes, that is 5 creep tumors you could make. And that's not just 5 tumors. It's 5 active tumors. And each active tumor that you have, the next time you throw one down, every previous tumor you had can spread again. So if that's 1, then that becomes 3. And then it becomes, 7? Or something, right? I'm not wrong, right? Like I'm gonna throw a number out there. You could probably have like 5 active tumors, and then it would be 5 for the first one, 4 for the second one, 3 for the third one. So it would be 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, which is what? It's 12, 13, 14, 15. It's 15 tumors. You could have 15 fucking tumors on the ground. 15 tumors by 6 minutes. That's why these things like this are like, if you just stay on top of them, they're so fucking important. The first 6 minutes of the build, I'm being very critical in the first 6 minutes because the first 6 minutes is so important for everybody. And a platinum player, this is what you need to focus on, for real. Not micro, not other crazy things. It's just executing the build efficiently, because that's where plat players fall off like crazy. So we're going to really quickly now go back to 6 minutes. You should have 15 tumors, 5 of which are active, and 66 drones at 6 minutes. And let's see what you have at 6 minutes. And this is assuming all you were doing is playing efficient. Like just playing for like your mechanics of Zerg. And at 6 minutes you have 1 tumor that has not been spread once more than the time you threw it down. And then you have, again, 55 drones, which is really like 52, because you have 3 gases that still need to be made. So this is brutal. It's rough. It's rough life. So now this is going to make the rest of the game hard as fuck for you. And now we're going to kind of speed through it really fast because I'm going to let you know right now, if you can do the first 6 minutes the way I just said, you will win so many of your games. Like, everything that happens now is kind of irrelevant. It's still relevant to a point, but it is also kind of irrelevant, because the fact that you guys have such similar supplies is very bad for Zerg. Okay, now it's getting a little bit better in your favor. But if you can just do that, you'll, like, nothing has happened this game, so there's no reason why you shouldn't have been able to do that. Okay, so you maxed out a little after 9 minutes. Now we're going to talk about some theories about what could be happening now. When you were at like this supply right here, at like 160s, 170 supply, definitely you should be taking 2 roaches out of your army. Just grab 1 roach and go like this. A move. You can do it off the mini map as well. A move it, hold shift, A move, A move. Just do the top bases over here. And then grab another roach and go A move, hold shift, A move, A move, A move, A move. So you do the bottom bases. And you can start from your base and work outwards. And that'd be fine. And this could help you see proxies if there were any randomly, some weird ass push, a drop maybe. Weird things that your opponent could be doing. Very unlikely to happen though. But it allows you to get a nice vision spread of anything of randomness. Because I'm not going to lie, there are games where if you watch someone who's in fucking like Silver League, let their opponent expand like here because it's so fucking awkward and they don't realize it until it's fully mined out. And you're like, wait, what? Holy shit. Like, this is why it prevents weird things from happening to you like that. So if you just scout every map, every base on the map, one on the top side, one on the bottom side, and then you realize, okay, well the Terran's furthest most expansion is right there, or it's right there, or wherever. You then, the second you max out, you go attack it. So the second you max, you should be going to his base immediately. Like right now. Right now, what you should do is you should go attack his base right now. And you should take your eggs that are in production, and you could put them in your control group if you want to, or you could rally the eggs towards his base as well. That would also be fine, but you should go now. And your max is also late. And the reason why I say your max is late, even though I say 9 minutes is not the worst max, nothing happened this game at all. Zero things were really, you lost 0-0. You could have maxed at like 8:30. Dead serious. That's also the being fair. You could max at like 8:10 if nothing happens, if you play really efficient and fast. You could have maxed like a minute before you did. Nothing happened. So this is all about how you just execute the build. And things like missing larva, like, you know, delayed hatchery, all the stuff we talked about in the first 6 minutes, those are the kind of things that are going to delay you more and more and more and more and more. But again, talking now, 9:10, you should be moving to his base right now. You should first of all know where his bases are already, and you should be going to his base like now. So every second you waste now and sit here allows him to catch up to your supply. And if he is within like 20 supply of you by the time you get to his base to fight him, that is awful. Okay, so you picked a base randomly and you attacked it. And you picked a good one, thank God. That's nice. You picked his newest, it looks like his 4th base. Because there's a sensor tower here, so there's probably a base there. You have a lead of supply by about 30, which is not great, but it's not the worst. It's okay. But yeah, like, imagine if you would have moved out a lot sooner and you would have moved out like right as you maxed and you got here at like, you know, 9:30 instead of, or like 9:35 instead of 9:57. It would be stronger for you again because he would have less supply. But now what you should be doing at this point in the game is you should not be microing this. You should be macroing. You should be injecting, making shit as soon as you can. Like your supply, what I should see right now is a bunch of larvae, which you have, and I should see this larva disappear the second the fight starts. This larva should be disappearing right now, and you should be making new units. You're microing the army. You're not macroing anything. There we go. I would honestly say that you might have actually done a better trade there if you just A-moved it. And the reason why I say that is because that's 2 times in a row you moved your army into him. And moving your army into him, what did that do? It collapsed your army in like a triangle, like a formation where it's like in a line and it starts like converging into the center point. It's almost like a triangle formation moving where it tightens up. And when your army does that against siege tanks, what's happening to you? You're getting splashed harder and harder and harder by tanks. So I'm not going to say that it's the most intelligent thing to do ever to just A-move into tanks with Roach Hydra. That's obviously not going to be the great idea. But if you were prioritizing on macroing and staying maxed out, which you totally can, you 100% can. If you just stayed maxed out, that's it. Just stay maxed out. That's the way more important thing than trying to micro this fight. I would have rather have seen you the second you went, oh, there's a base here. A-moved like right there and went back to this. Inject. 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 Actually spread some creep a bit more. You know, send drones around. Fix that drone line. That drone line's fine. That drone line's fine. Drone line's fine. Drone count right now is not great. Fix that too. Like, fix your economy. Fix your macro production. Extend your creep spread. Don't give a shit about your base. If you just A-moved it right here, I guarantee you would have killed the command center. I guarantee. I'm going to explain a concept to you right now really fast as well. And then after this, I think we're going to kind of finish it up because this is a very long replay analysis. But, I mean, it's good, though. This has been very thorough. And this is the first shit that I think you should care about. But the rest of the game from this point on, if you just keep doing things like this, like it's not the most efficient way to play. But if you A-move this base right now, and you didn't pay attention to this, you want to know what happened? I'll tell you what would happen. This bottom half of army right here, this bottom half, on A-move, would kill the gas, and it would kill the command center. Why is that? It's because it's aggro. This army is out of range of aggro of his army. This top side, like these roaches in the back, they're going to try and get into his army or get into his face. And what are they going to do? They're going to walk down. It's going to be blocked off by your shit down here. Then they're going to walk up, and there's going to be open area that they can walk through. And they're going to walk this way and come on the top side. That will totally happen. And some of them will be stupid and just keep walking in the back. That'll just happen. Your Hydras in the middle top side here will aggro the Hellbats, and they will also get shot by the tank that's about to happen, and they will aggro forward and fight that. These units on the bottom, though, they will stay killing this gas, which will happen really fast, and then they will then kill the next thing, which will be the command center, and they will be out of aggro range. They will be out of aggro range to aggro his army because it's too far away for the battle where the battle's happening. Like, for instance, for this roach to be attacked, just to give you an indicator here, this roach getting attacked right now, the aggro radius of this roach is about this big. Anything that's in that green box right now, anything in that green box will go, oh shit, that roach is getting attacked. Let's go help it. Anything that is not in that green box will disregard it and not give a shit. Which is why I say this bottom chunk of your army will just stay here and kill this. And this Hellbat is also going to die pretty fast because it's going to get bursted like in 1 second and it's dead. And now the aggro radius is different. The aggro radius was higher now because that Hellbat died like right there, and the other Hellbats are starting to concave up higher. So you would have killed the command center, guaranteed. And you would have killed a lot of his army if you just A-moved it. And you would have remaxed really fast if you focused on macroing, because you would have creep spreaded and you would have injected and all that stuff, and you would have spent your larva, and it would have allowed you to have more mobility on the map, to have more, because your creep spread gets spread, so you have more mobility to get back to his base faster again. You max out faster because you're utilizing the second aspect of larva, which is larva, not creep inject, or sorry, Jesus, not inject larva, but automated larva. The automated larva would be utilized more because you have none of it right now. You have 6 larvae on this hatchery. You have 6 larvae on this hatchery. You have 3 on this hatchery. You have 4 on that hatchery. This hatchery's not done yet. You have 3 on this hatchery. Every single hatchery is 3+, which means you have no larva automation.
Nice
None.
PJs.
Thank you very much, Rizix. Yeah, well, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for the bits. Automated larva spawning is half of the battle of creep, or fucking Jesus. I'm talking so fast now. I gotta slow down. Automated larva is half of your total larva. Larva inject is the other half as long as you're doing it. And right now you're getting 0 of it. Okay, you're not quite. You're injecting a couple of your bases. You're just not injecting this base. But like your queens have 60 energy. 67. This one is 5. Who knows though if did you just queue up a bunch of injects there? Let's see. Yeah, you did. You had 63. You just queued them up. I don't mind that you queue them up, but you should try your best to not have to queue them up in the first place. You should try your best to maintain, you know what I'm saying? Like that is the best for sure. You have 55 here, and so on and so on. You're missing injects like crazy. And then because you're also missing injects and you also have a bunch of larvae already sitting there, you're missing automated larvae. Like if I were to tell you every 10 seconds that goes by, when you have larvae sitting here like this, 2 larvae per hatchery is what you're missing now, because you're missing the inject and you're also missing the automated larva, which is 1 per 10 every single 10 seconds. And you're missing both of those. So let's just look at it like this. We'll just go for fun at 9:30 will be our starting point, okay? Check this out. So 9:30, you're not injecting, you're not injecting, you're not injecting, and you're not injecting. And you are capped, you're capped, you're capped. You're capped on every base still. So every single 10 seconds, that's 2 larvae. He's maxed though. Well, what does that mean? That goes into the exact same thing I talked about. The second he maxes, he moves out. I said that too. It's all about being efficient. You fucking move out. Like, you don't sit here for a minute and wait. You move out. Like I said, the scout should have happened at like 170 supply. Figure out where you want to go, and the second you fucking max, which was 9:10 by the way, which is easily enough time for him to have gotten across the map by now. 20 seconds? He could get across the map in 20 seconds with speed upgraded hydras and roaches. Easily. He could be in a fight right now, fighting at the newest base of Terran, wherever he wanted to go. That is very realistic. And while he loses units in that fight, he remakes, and now every 10 seconds that goes by, 2 larvae per hatchery. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 10 larvae every 10 seconds that you're missing, literally. Now let's watch. As long as it takes this larva to go down, every 10 seconds. How long does it take for this larva number to go to the negative? 10 seconds. This is what we're looking at. And it represents 10 larvae each time. So that's 10 larvae. That's 20 larvae. This is legit, like, dead serious. Like, that's 30 larvae. That's 40 larvae. Okay, you just spent it for the first time. You didn't get to 50. 40 larvae got missed. 40 fucking larvae. That's huge. That is 80 supply worth of roach hydra. Do you get what I mean? Like, that's, people disregard that shit all the time. Like, oh, fuck it, I don't care about that shit. It's huge. It's so important. If you just inject your bases and you just spin the larva, you get to actually generate the larva and then utilize injects. That is so much fucking larva that is being missed out on. And why is that happening? It's because it's what everybody does in lower leagues, which is micros and disregards macro. They're like, all right, I'm going to back up, move forward, back up, move forward. And what do you take away from this? I'm not trying to insult you in any way. Anybody who's low league, if you think this way, I am not trying to insult you, but it's fucking super true. What do you take away from this fight? You go, I could have focus fired that better, or I could have focus fired this better. You think about ways you micro it better. But it's like, you're falling so far fucking behind with your macro because you're disregarding it completely. Like, thinking about micro is such a negative, massive mistake here. You should be thinking about, okay, I need to fucking make more larvae. And I like, this army, if it dies, who gives a shit? I should be able to make it again, like, immediately. Immediately. If you ever are at a point where you lose your army and your supply sits at like 150 or 160 for a while, and your base has had no disruption because nothing has killed any of your drones, 0 drones have died, why the fuck are you not repeatedly maxing? Would be my question. Like, there's no excuse to not max out again repeatedly. And the only problem is because your macro is suffering, which is the exact reason why you are in silver, bronze, gold, or platinum league. Diamond players, I would say, respect it enough. At some point in Diamond, you start to realize this, and then Diamond players can actually mostly macro it out if they don't get harassed. Diamond players just fall apart heavily when they get harassed. And they're like, fuck, oh god, I lost. I can't fix that. Too many problems now. But Platinum is like the highest league of players just don't fucking macro. They do not. So Dingles, I love you, man, but this is the example of that. And I hope it makes sense. And then, yeah, we'll just speed it up now. But, like, look how long it's taking you to max again. Like, you're almost tied with supply in the with Terran and supply. That is so bad. The fact that, like, you had a 30 supply lead the first time. Look at what it is this time. You're within 18 supply. Now you're behind, actually. He actually is going to max faster than you with the remax. That is, not good. That means it's just a neglect of macro. I like that you're going Broodlords at least. I mean, compositionally, I agree with you. Because you're just trying to do pushes to break his base, and he's being very turtly. I think Broodlords are maybe not the best choice against Thors, but it's whatever. I don't disagree with it, because he also has a lot of tanks. I think your composition's fine for versing Tank Thor, for A-move purposes. And then now it's a base trade. The only reason why this base trade's happening is because you didn't actually punish Terran and push him again and again. You let Terran max, which should never happen if you play this properly. So you just have a lot of missed time is all it is. Is what you're, and you're going around, you're turning around to go to Finn now. I know everyone says don't ever base trade a Terran, but you totally should have base traded a Terran. And the reason why is because you're telling Broodlords to go back across the map, which is a fucking snail army. It's so slow. You should have base traded. And also you have Corruptors, so even if he did lift off, you could have killed his buildings with Corruptors. So you would have been fine. And what's happening now, with you turning around, you both kind of fucked each other up a little bit, but you've not fucked up the main infrastructure of his base, so he's going to remax and have all of his production still there. He just has to rebuild like new depots and new expansions elsewhere. Because you killed this base and this base. But you didn't kill any of his supply. You didn't kill any of his upgrades. You didn't kill any of his factories. He still has a couple of orbital commands that he can work with. So, but you lost all your tech. Pretty much almost all of your economy. You lost a massive chunk of your economy. So, like, the only economy you actually have is the one base over here now. So, like, you're totally fucked. And the reason why it took you so long is because your broods had to cross the map for, like, a full minute each way. And that's just a result of Broodlords suck dick against Thors now. But he would never get to this point. You got to realize that. He would never get to this point if you just macroed better and you didn't waste all... Like, because, again, that 50 larva we talked about, where it was like you almost got the 50 larva and you missed it, that was just from 9:30 to 5... Or, sorry, from 9:30 to, like, 10:20. That was only that 50-second window of time. That's disregarding everything else that happened throughout the game. The amount of larvae you missed up to 10 minutes was lots of larvae. Shitloads. Like probably 100. Maybe more. I think 100 sounds fair. I mean, more sounds a little ridiculous. Because you don't really miss larvae for the first like 4 minutes. It's pretty easy not to miss larvae there. Even though you did miss a little bit. You missed like 12 or 15. But it like the more bases you get, the higher it starts to ramp up if you just let larvae sit there all the time. Like, you should be looking to force fights to happen the second you max, not minutes later. That's why it's a big deal with this style. Anyways, I hope that makes sense. Macro better, be more efficient in the ways we just described. And yeah, man, you're going to have a lot better results in your games for sure. But much love, dude. Thank you for doing a replay analysis. And anyone else who's watching this, I hope what we talked about makes sense. It is a huge deal that a lot of people don't realize how much of a deal it is. Things like utilizing your larva, it fucking is a huge deal. Do that, and you'll have definitely a lot better power in your games. Like, you'll have way more control. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, don't hesitate to follow the channel or whatever. Check out more videos too. I have lots of coaching lessons and Bronze GM videos, which is like a guide on how to get better at the game. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy and peace.